Do you face lots of problems during speaking? Then today's video is for you. Coming up. Hey, this is Chayan and here with EasyEnglishChayan, speak English smoothly, much faster and better way. If you're newer on this channel, then consider subscribing. Let's go. Here's I'm gonna share with you 5 hacks that will really help to boost your speaking ability in English. So watch till the end so you can get all of those points and add extra tool into your toolbox to improve your speaking much better and faster way. Let's begin. Well, my first tip is listening English podcast. Listening English podcast, that's my first trick to improve your speaking. Why listening podcast? I think it's the most important thing to listen, and it's the best resource for your listening practice. From my experience or from most of the people, it's common that they generally listen English podcast every day. What's the benefit of this? Actually, in podcast, what happens, you can actually hear the proper pronunciation of individual words, individual phrases, and some kind of mashups. So you can actually hear the real English through some English podcast. So that's the benefit of this. If you want to improve yourself much faster, then of course you need to go through this English podcast every day. You can listen anywhere. The best way to do this is to choose a particular time, free time. I mean, it can be, you can do this anytime. Just you are going to office, or you are walking on the street, or you are doing something else. Anywhere, anytime, you can practice with this English podcast. It's very easy to do and is the most effective for your speaking. Alright. Listening podcast actually helps you to understand the real pronunciation of individual phrase and words. The real pronunciation that you have to know and you have to understand. That's my point. That's why you have to listen this English podcast. There are lots of English podcasts available online. You can search them on internet. Just go to the internet and search English podcasts. So you will get a long list of those podcasts. You can play any one of them. It's up to you. There are lots of topics for English podcast. You can choose any one of them. It's irrespective of topic. You can listen whatever you want. But the topic of your interest, you can listen any of those kind of podcasts. Just to listen and try to understand the real pronunciation. That's all about the listening podcast. Another key point of listening podcast is that you can actually understand the music of English. That's super important. Music of English. What is music of English? It's very important, and it's the most effective thing. Music of English means in each and every language there's a certain music. Music means the flow of that particular language, right? In your own mother language there is also some sort of music, right? That means where to stop, where to pause, and the gap duration between the consecutive words or sentences. So this is about the music. It's not exactly written on the book, some musical notes, not exactly, rather it's the flow of speaking, the real speaking. So listening podcast will help you to understand the real situation, the real speaking music. That's what you need to learn. So that's why keep mentioning this rule and improve super fast your spoken. Alright, now let's jump to rule number 2. The trick number 2 is reading newspaper. Yes, reading newspaper. Reading newspaper is a really very strong habit to improve your English, to reach your goal. Why reading newspaper? Why not anything else? Yes, you can certainly read so many storybook, audiobooks, whichever you prefer, but with those all kinds of things, you can add this to get more value. Reading newspaper is of course a good habit for you. Why? The reason is very simple. In newspaper, I think it's the best resource to practice your pronunciation. Yes, it helps to improve your pronunciation, to practice your pronunciation muscles, right? Because to improve your pronunciation, you need to practice a lot and a lot. And reading newspaper will help you, will actually give an opportunity to train your pronunciation muscle. It is the best source of reading real English without any mistakes. Because in newspaper there is no grammatical mistakes, there is no point mistakes, and each and everything is clearly written. What you need to do is to read aloud with a strong voice of those individual sentences. But keep in mind, you always have to read with a flow. That means you have to maintain the actual pronunciation of English. Alright, so that's an important point of it. Reading newspapers definitely helps to improve your pronunciation, as I have told before in my previous rule. Actually, in podcast, what happens, you can actually hear the proper pronunciation of individual words, individual phrases, and some kind of mashups. So you can actually hear the real English through some English podcast. So that's the benefit of this. That means it's an extra tool for your toolbox to boost your speaking ability. So that's why you have to read newspaper each and every day, each and every moment whenever possible. Because reading newspaper is a good habit for your speaking ability to boost yourself. Because you can actually, through reading, you are nothing but doing some kind of muscle movements, practice those pronunciation muscle again and again and again. And for speaking much better, you need lots of reading. That's a great key. That's another great key to great speaking. You need lots of speaking and lots of reading. Simultaneously, to improve your speaking, you need to read aloud. A lot. So many times you have to go through some newspaper. The newspaper can be anything you like most. You can search on the internet also, because nowadays the newspaper is also available in your smartphone, your computer. So just go for that and read aloud each and every day and make a habit of this. So have reading. Okay, so let's jump into the point number 3. The third trick is very important. It's the most effective hacks out of these 5 tricks that I'm gonna share. It's probably the most important and is a bit difficult for the very beginning. If you're a newer, you are a very beginner level, that's probably it's very important for you. My third trick is pay attention to the physical movement of your pronunciation muscle. Focus on the movement, focus on the facial expression of your pronunciation organs. What do I mean by that? It's simple. That means probably you focus that whenever you're gonna speak in English, there's a particular facial expression that you have to maintain, or that the speaker maintain, and it's not similar with your mother language. If you are not, especially if you are a non-native speaker, then this is the most important tricks for you. That is, you have to follow exactly their facial expression, how they're speaking, their movement of their tongue, the vibration of their throat, each and everything you have to copy. The best way to grab this is you have to copy their style, their facial expression, how they're saying. It's very simple. Just play any video. Anything from me is okay. You just have to play the video and watch very carefully how they are moving their mouth, what's the position of their teeth, the jaws of teeth, and the movements of their tongue, right? So there's different kinds of vibrations. I will talk about a little more about my another video, but from right now is to maintain the actual facial expression that's required to pronounce the sound exactly like an English speaker. So be careful on this thing and pay attention to the physical aspect of pronunciation. That's my point. So whenever you're gonna speak, just try to copy in front of mirror, just play any video, anything from me, and you can play any video, it's irrespective of the type. Just play the actual one with an English speaker and then try to copy his muscle movements, how that person is speaking. So always try to copy this, and in this way you can definitely improve and become mastery in this role. That's what you need to do. You have to be mastery in excellent English speaking. That's why you are in here, right? So you have to be mastery in English. Okay, my next tip is trick number 4, that is be exaggerated. Whenever you're gonna speak, bring the energy higher, bring the emotion higher, speak with a strong, loud voice. That you need to do, and speak with exaggeration. Why I'm talking about this? Because at the very beginning, if you're a beginner, so that's why probably you have lots of problem to pronounce the individual sounds with, your voice may not be clear, the sound that's gonna pronounce, it's have lots of mistakes over there. So to overcome this and to pronounce each and every sound with 100% clarity, voice clarity is needed. So what you need to do is to speak with exaggeration. Exaggeration means you have to be speaking with a little bit smile and just bring the voice up. That means you have to speak much stronger and louder voice. Try to speak each and every sentence, each and everything. Just each and every phrase, sentence or words, whatever. Just speak aloud. Try to speak aloud and practice this a lot. It will really help you, because exaggeration can certainly help you to improve your pronunciation in an effective way, and it will help you to train your muscles to control the vibration of your speaking. That's important. To control the vibration of speaking, you must go through this exaggeration speaking. So follow this always. Be exaggerated, be super excited, and then try to say whatever you want. Right? The way I am speaking, what you need to do is to increase your voice 10 times more than me, and then try to speak like this. Hello, I'm an excellent English speaker. I can speak much faster. That means the moment that you're going to speak with exaggeration, you need to be super motivated, highly motivated. Your energy must be high. You're speaking with the loud, strong voice. It's kind of like shouting. We're shouting, but that's not bad actually. It's really helped you to improve your pronunciation. So maintain this trick number 4. It's really very, very important. Okay, my last point is trick number 5. That's another important one. So let's jump into it. What is trick number 5? Speak slowly. If you are a beginner, if you are just started journey in this field, so speak slowly. Your speaking speed must be slower at the very beginning. Just speak slowly. You don't need to be hurry up just speaking much faster like an excellent English speaker, like a native. You don't need to be like that. At the very beginning, speak slowly. Try to pronounce each and every word slower way. Improve yourself in a slower way. Try to speak with exaggeration. Of course you need to exaggerate. That's not a big deal, but the thing is, you need to pronounce each and every word, each and every sentence slowly. Just stretch out the words, the phrases, the sentences that you're gonna using. Just stretch. Increase the time duration of your speaking. For example, you are just take a particular sentence in English and then try to speak the sentence just by stretching like this. I'm giving an example. For this, suppose the sentence is that I'm an excellent speaker. The sentence is I'm an excellent speaker. So what you need to do is to speak the same sentence in this way. I am an excellent speaker. I am an excellent speaker. That means you have to speak with a bit stretching sentence, the gap between the word. You definitely maintain the flow, the music of English, that you don't need to forget about it, right? Because if you come out from the actual music, so you'll not understand, so you will not be actually, go through the real English. You must go through the real English, but stretch the music. I am an excellent speaker, because it helps you to give some time to your pronunciation muscle to change their position from one state to another. Right at the very beginning, you are not habituated with this too much. You are not familiar with the movement of your pronunciation muscles, and that's a problem for most of the students that they do not give so much time. They just think, okay, I'm speaking with master, so definitely my pronunciation will be much better. I'm looking like a native speaker. But not really. Give some time to your pronunciation muscle so that you can speak in a clear voice, alright, and speak with a loud, strong voice so that the other person can easily understand. Practice yourself with slower. Speak slowly. That's not a problem. At the very beginning, you can start with this, and then day to day, after practicing lots of time, you can increase the speed in a faster way. And day 1, you are increase the speed. Day 2, you are increasing your speaking speed, and in this way, just increase the speed at a constant rate, but do not speak too much faster at the very beginning. That's my point. Right, so maintain this trick number 5. It will really help you, because if you're not giving enough time to pronunciation muscle, so probably chances are more that your sounds will not be correct. It's not be natural. And if your sound is not natural, say it's simply nonsense. It means nothing. Just nobody will understand you. So just speak exactly like an English speaker so that anyone can respect you. So maintain this 5 acts and keep practicing this. Okay, so that's all about the 5 hacks that will really help you to improve your English. Thumbs up this video if you got some value from it, and stay tuned to Easy English Chayan. We will come back soon.